Commander Izar's warship smashed into Zachary's recon vessel, instantly killing the human pilot's navigation systems as effectively as a bullet through the brain. Zachary barely had time to send a distress signal before his ship careened out of control, plummeting toward the desolate world below. The Tok ambush had come out of nowhere. 1 minute Zachary was charting asteroid fields in the Varuna sector. The next, his ship was a crumpled ruin, smoke pouring from the hull as it lay half buried in the gray sands of an unknown planet. Zachary checked his sidearm and grabbed his survival kit, knowing the Tok boarding parties would arrive any second. He didn't have to wait long. A dozen reptilian Tok troopers stormed out of a black transport ship, particle rifles trained on Zachary's crash site. In the lead strode Commander Izar himself, the alien's eyes glinting with cruel intelligence. Zachary's hand tightened on his plasma pistol. "Surrender now, human, and your death will be quick," Izar hissed in broken English. His forked tongue flicked between jagged teeth. "Resist, and we will make a long example of you." Zachary's reply was to snap off 3 rapid shots, dropping the lead Tok soldiers in gouts of green blood. He dove behind his wrecked ship as the aliens returned fire. The battle was fierce, but brief. Zachary's military training and advanced human weaponry made all the difference against the Tok superior numbers. In minutes, half of Izar's strike team lay dead or dying. "Impossible!" Izar snarled, signaling a retreat. The surviving Tok fell back to their transport, dragging their wounded. "You only delay the inevitable, human. We will return, and this world will be ours." Alone again, Zachary took stock of his situation. Survival was paramount, but something else nagged at him. Why had the Tok attacked him here, in this desolate sector? What were they looking for? Searching the wreckage, Zachary found his answer. Beneath the planet's barren surface, sensors detected remnants of an ancient alien civilization, technology far beyond anything the Tok or Earth had developed. With this discovery, the balance of power in the galaxy could shift forever. Zachary knew what he had to do. Protect this world's secrets, get word back to Earth, hold out against the Tok until help arrived. The alternative was unthinkable, humanity enslaved, an alien empire ascendant. He would not fail. For the sake of Earth and all humans, Zachary would fight to his last breath. The Tok were about to learn a harsh lesson. Never mess with humans. With the Tok threat temporarily dealt with, Zachary wasted no time. He scavenged what supplies he could from his wrecked ship. Ration packs, a portable generator, tools, med kits. Then, plasma rifle in hand, he scouted the barren landscape around the crash site. The planet's surface was a wasteland of cracked earth and jagged rock formations. No vegetation, no water, no sign of life. But as Zachary climbed a rise, his eye caught on something unusual, a perfectly geometric depression in the ground, almost hidden by shifting sands. He approached cautiously. It was an entrance, a doorway half buried in the dirt, leading down into the depths. Zachary pried it open with his combat knife and shone a light into the gloom. Stairs led into a vast underground chamber, the walls covered in strange glyphs and humming with energy. At the chamber's center stood a towering machine, clad in gleaming alloy, a pulsing blue light at its core. Zachary reached out to touch it. "Welcome, human soldier," a voice emanated from the device, speaking perfect English. "I am the central data core of this installation. How may I assist you?" Zachary stepped back, stunned. The machine was clearly ancient, yet highly advanced. "Who built this place? What is it for?" This bunker was constructed by the Venari, the species that once inhabited this world, as a refuge from invasion, the AI explained. Within this database is stored the accumulated knowledge of Venari technology and culture. "Invasion by the Tok?" Zachary asked. Correct. The Tok attempted to conquer the Venari and claim their technology, but the Venari's superior weaponry and defenses drove them back. This installation is all that remains of their civilization. Zachary's mind raced. If he could access the technology here, retrofit it to his own equipment, humanity might stand a chance against the Tok. But danger was fast approaching. Izar's forces had regrouped and were searching for him. Drones buzzed overhead, scanning the crash site. Tok-Tok strike teams roamed the wastes, hunting Zachary down. He had to act fast. Gathering components from his wrecked ship and the Venari tech, Zachary constructed a network of traps and decoys around the hidden entrance. Trip mines, holographic lures, salvaged Venari sentry turrets. He turned the desolate landscape into a gauntlet of death. The Tok-Tok took the bait. As they closed in on the crash site, the first traps triggered, proximity mines exploding in clouds of fire and shrapnel. Drones shattered under the sentry turret's precise energy bolts. Holographic decoys drew the aliens into ambushes. Zachary joined the fray, plasma rifle spitting blue death. He moved through the chaos like a wraith, flanking the enemy, cutting them down, vanishing again. The Tok-Tok fell by the dozens, caught off guard by his hit-and-run tactics. In the confusion, Zachary captured a small Tok-Tok squad, the leader fighting in Izar's own honor guard. Binding them in the Venari bunker, Zachary prepared to interrogate his prisoners about Izar's plans. The Tok-Tok commander spat in Zachary's face, yellow saliva sizzling on his skin. "Fool, you only delay your doom. Even now, the Tok-Tok gather for the invasion of your pitiful world. Make peace with whatever gods you worship, human, for soon you and all your kind will be slaves of the Tok-Tok." Zachary clenched his fists. He had to warn Earth, rally humanity's defenses, and to do that, he needed to repair his ship's long-range comms using the Venari tech. It was a desperate plan, but the threat was dire. Above, Izar raged at his losses, calling in a massive invasion fleet to crush Zachary. The final battle for the planet loomed, and with it, the fate of the human race. Zachary gritted his teeth and got to work. Zachary's hands flew over the exposed circuitry of his ship's communications array, sweat beading on his forehead as he worked. The acrid smell of burnt wiring filled his nostrils. He cursed under his breath as another connection sparked and fizzled out. "Come on, you piece of junk," he muttered, reaching for another component. His fingers brushed against something cold and metallic beneath a pile of debris. Frowning, Zachary cleared away the rubble to reveal a small hatch he hadn't noticed before. He pried it open, revealing a narrow passageway leading deeper into the ancient structure. Curiosity overcame caution. Zachary grabbed his plasma rifle and crawled into the tunnel. The passage opened into a vast chamber, bathed in an eerie blue glow. At its center sat a pulsing orb of energy, surrounded by racks of sleek alien weaponry. "Jackpot," Zachary whispered, his eyes wide. He wasted no time putting his discovery to use. Hauling armfuls of advanced tech back to the surface, Zachary began fortifying his position. He set up energy barriers around the structure's perimeter, their shimmering fields humming with power. Salvaged turrets from his ship, now supercharged by the alien energy source, stood ready to unleash devastation on any approaching forces. As Zachary finished wiring the last defense grid, a distant rumble caught his attention. He grabbed his binoculars and scanned the horizon. His blood ran cold at the sight of dozens of Tok-Tok ships descending from orbit, their hulls jam-packed with weapons. "Looks like the party's about to start," Zachary muttered grimly. The Tok-Tok assault came in waves. Dropships disgorged hordes of reptilian troops, while gunships strafed Zachary's position with plasma fire. But the humans' preparations paid off. Energy shields flared as they absorbed the incoming fire, while automated turrets picked off exposed targets with surgical precision. Zachary darted between cover, his augmented plasma rifle cutting down Tok-Tok soldiers with each burst. He triggered mines and traps, sowing chaos in the alien ranks. Despite their superior numbers, the Tok-Tok found themselves outmaneuvered at every turn. In the heat of battle, Zachary spotted a familiar figure, Commander Izar himself, barking orders from behind the front lines. A plan formed in Zachary's mind. He grabbed one of the alien devices he'd discovered, praying it would work as he thought it might. Zachary sprinted from cover, dodging plasma bolts as he closed the distance to Izar. The Tok commander's eyes widened in shock as the human barreled towards him. Zachary thrust the device at Izar and triggered it. A pulse of energy erupted from the device. Izar's armor sparked and went dark, his weapons falling useless from his claws. Before the stunned alien could react, Zachary tackled him to the ground, quickly binding Izar's limbs. "Looks like the tables have turned, Commander," Zachary growled, dragging his prisoner back to the safety of the ancient structure. Inside, Zachary wasted no time interrogating Izar. The Tok commander, stripped of his bravado, spilled everything: invasion plans, fleet positions, command structure. Zachary's mind raced as he realized the full scope of the threat. "This is bigger than me," Zachary muttered. "I need to get word out." He rushed back to his ship's communications array, this time augmenting it with salvaged alien tech. The signal strength skyrocketed, punching through the planet's atmosphere and into deep space. "To any human ships in range," Zachary broadcast. "This is Lieutenant Zachary Cole. I have critical intelligence on an imminent Tok invasion. Coordinates follow. Request immediate assistance." Light years away, aboard the UES Dauntless, Commander Sarah Wilson jolted upright as Zachary's message crackled through the bridge speakers. Her eyes narrowed as she absorbed the information. "Helm, set course for those coordinates, maximum speed," she ordered. "And get me aligned to Fleet Command. We're going to need every ship we can muster." Back on the planet's surface, the battle took a dark turn. A massive Tok warship appeared in the sky, raining down devastating firepower. Zachary's defenses began to buckle under the onslaught. "A Kronok," Izar hissed from where he sat bound. "My second in command. He will not stop until this place is reduced to ashes." Zachary gritted his teeth as the structure shook around them. "Then we'd better hope help arrives soon," he said, checking the charge on his rifle. "Because I'm not about to let your buddies get their claws on this tech." As if in response, a particularly violent explosion rocked the ancient building. Cracks spiderwebbed across the ceiling. Zachary grabbed Izar and sprinted deeper into the structure, seeking the protection of its innermost chambers. The alien shielding technology hummed to life around them, a last line of defense against the Tok's fury. Zachary hunkered down, his prisoner beside him, and his weapons at the ready. He knew his situation was precarious, but as long as he drew breath, he would fight. For Earth, for humanity, and for the secrets this ancient place held. All he had to do was hold out until reinforcements arrived. The walls trembled as another salvo struck home. Zachary tightened his grip on his rifle. The real battle was only beginning. The ground shook violently as another barrage of Tok fire pummeled the ancient structure. Zachary stumbled, catching himself on a nearby console. Dust and debris rained down from the ceiling. "This place won't hold much longer," Zachary growled, scanning the alien readouts. The shielding was holding, but weakening with each impact. Izar hissed, his scales filled. "You've only delayed the inevitable, human. My forces will reduce this place to rubble." Zachary ignored the taunt, focusing on the holographic schematics floating before him. His eyes widened as he spotted a faint pathway snaking deep into the planet's crust. "Looks like we've got a way out," Zachary muttered. He grabbed Izar roughly by the arm. "Let's move." They raced through twisting corridors, the sounds of battle growing more distant. Zachary's breath came in ragged gasps as they descended deeper into the alien complex. A hum of energy filled the air as they entered a new section. Zachary tensed, spotting several metallic orbs hovering silently in the passageway. "Don't move," he whispered to Izar. Inching forward, Zachary examined a nearby control panel. Ancient symbols flickered across its surface. He input a sequence, praying his understanding of the alien language was correct. The orbs powered down with a soft whine. Zachary let out a breath he didn't realize he'd been holding. "Sentry drones," he explained to Izar. "Seems the Venari didn't want unexpected guests." They pressed on, disabling more traps as they went. Twice they were forced to hide as Tok patrols passed nearby, having breached the upper levels. Finally, They emerged into a vast chamber. Zachary's jaw dropped at the sight before him. A sleek vessel of unknown design sat on a raised platform, its hull gleaming as if freshly polished. "By the void," Izar breathed, "a Venari warship." Zachary approached the craft, running his hand along its smooth surface. "And our ticket out of here." He quickly found an access panel, interfacing his suit's computer with the ship's systems. Strange characters scrolled across his visor as the ancient tech came to life. A thunderous explosion rocked the hangar. Kronak's voice echoed through the chamber. "Find them! Secure that technology at all costs!" Zachary cursed, shoving Izar towards the ship's entry ramp. "Inside now!" They scrambled aboard as Tok troops poured into the hangar. Zachary's fingers flew across alien controls, willing the ship to respond. With a deep thrum, the Venari craft lifted off. Its weapons came online, lancing out with impossible precision. Tok soldiers vaporized where they stood. "How are you controlling this?" Izar demanded, equal parts awed and terrified. Zachary grinned fiercely. "Your guess is as good as mine. Now make yourself useful and help me figure out these weapon systems." The ship burst from the underground hangar in a hail of energy fire, scattering the Tok forces on the surface. Zachary banked hard, bringing them around for another pass. His comms crackled to life. "Repeat, this is Commander Wilson of the UES Dauntless. Lieutenant Cole, do you copy?" "Wilson, perfect timing," Zachary shouted over the din of battle. "I've got a present for you, sending targeting data now." The human fleet engaged the Tok armada in orbit, their weapons finding weak points with unerring accuracy. Zachary joined the fray, the Venari ship's advanced tech turning the tide. Izar slumped in his seat, watching his forces crumble before the combined assault. "It's over," he said quietly. "We cannot win this day." Zachary nodded grimly. "Then let's end it. Where's your main stronghold?" Izar hesitated, then input a series of coordinates. "Our homeworld. End this madness, human." As the last Tok ships fled the system, Zachary opened a channel to the Dauntless. "Commander Wilson, prepare your fleet. We're taking the fight to them." He stared out at the stars, heart set strong. The real battle was about to begin. The ancient Venari ship surged through hyperspace, its sleek hull vibrating with raw power. Zachary stood at the helm, his eyes fixed on the swirling vortex ahead. Behind him, the combined human fleet followed in tight formation, weapons primed and crews on high alert. "Ite to Tok homeworld, 2 minutes," announced the ship's AI in a melodious tone. Zachary nodded, keying the comms. "All ships, this is Cole. Prepare for imminent combat. Remember your training and watch each other's backs. We end this today." A chorus of affirmatives echoed through the channel. Zachary felt the weight of command settle on his shoulders. He glanced at Izar, still bound but watching the proceedings with keen interest. "Last chance to call this off," Zachary said. Izar hissed. "My people made their choice. Now face the consequences." The vortex suddenly collapsed, revealing a massive world ringed by orbital platforms and swarms of Tok vessels. Before Zachary could issue orders, space lit up with enemy fire. Energy beams lanced towards the human fleet, only to splash harmlessly against the Venari ship's shields. Zachary's hands danced across the alien controls, the vessel responding to his thoughts as much as his actions. "Wilson, take the fleet wide. Draw their fire." Zachary barked into the comms. "I'm going for their orbital defenses." The Venari ship accelerated, its weapon systems coming online with a satisfying hum. Zachary targeted the nearest defense platform, unleashing a barrage of energy that reduced it to molten slag. He banked hard, evading return fire and lining up his next shot. One by one, the Tok emplacements fell. The human fleet pressed their advantage, punching through gaps in the enemy formation. Explosions bloomed silently in the void as ships on both sides met their end. "Ground team, prepare for insertion," Zachary ordered, bringing the Venari ship into a steep dive towards the planet's surface. Anti-aircraft fire filled the sky, but the ancient shields held firm. The ship touched down with a bone-jarring thud. Zachary sprinted from the cockpit, joining his assault team at the exit ramp. As it lowered, the sounds of battle assaulted their ears. Screeching energy weapons, thunderous explosions, and the guttural war cries of Tok-Tok warriors. "Move out!" Zachary shouted, charging down the ramp with his rifle at the ready. The team fanned out, taking cover behind twisted wreckage as they assessed the situation. Ahead loomed a massive structure, the Tok-Tok Command Center. Between them and their target swarmed hundreds of heavily armed alien soldiers. Zachary tapped his comms. "This is ground team. We need fire support to clear a path to the objective." The response came instantly as precision strikes from orbit hammered the Tok-Tok forces. Zachary and his team seized the opportunity, sprinting from cover to cover as they fought their way towards the command center. Energy bolts sizzled past Zachary's head as he dove behind a fallen pillar. He popped up, squeezing off short bursts that dropped two Tok-Tok warriors. To his left, a human soldier cried out and fell, his chest a smoking ruin. "Push forward!" Zachary roared, refusing to let the loss slow their advance. They battled room by room through the sprawling complex, leaving a trail of destruction in their wake. Finally, they reached a massive set of doors emblazoned with alien script. "This is it," Zachary said, setting demo charges. "Stack up and prepare to breach." The explosion rocked the facility. Zachary's team poured through the opening, weapons blazing. They found themselves in a cavernous chamber filled with ornate technology. At its center stood a group of regally adorned Tok-Tok, the High Council. "Surrender now," Zachary demanded, his rifle trained on the alien leaders. A towering Tok-Tok, its scales shimmering with bioluminescent patterns, stepped forward. "You have made a grave mistake coming here, human," it snarled. Without warning, the alien slammed its clawed hand onto a nearby console. Alarms blared throughout the complex as a massive device in the center of the room hummed to life, crackling with ominous energy. "You've doomed us all," Izar whispered in horror. Zachary's mind raced as he assessed the situation. The doomsday device pulsed with increasing intensity, ready to obliterate everything in the system. He knew what had to be done. "Wilson," he barked into his comms, "target my position with the Venari ship's main gun, full power." "Zachary, that's suicide," Wilson started to protest. "Do it now!" Zachary cut her off. He turned to his team, meeting their eyes one last time. "It's been an honor. Now go." As his soldiers retreated, Zachary faced the Tok-Tok High Council. "This ends here," he declared. The ceiling exploded in a blinding flash of energy. Zachary's world became heat and light as the Venari weapon found its mark. In his final moments, he saw the doomsday device rupture. Its destructive power turned inward. Then there was nothing but silence. Aboard the UES Dauntless, Commander Sarah Wilson watched in stunned silence as the Tok-Tok Command Center vanished in a cataclysmic fireball. The ancient Venari ship, its task complete, crumbled into debris. "Status report," she managed to croak out. "Tok-Tok fleet is in full retreat, Commander," her XO reported. "Ground zero is... there's nothing left." Wilson closed her eyes, feeling the weight of their victory and its cost. "Bring our people home," she ordered softly. "We have work to do." As the human ships regrouped, Wilson stared at the scarred planet below. They had won the battle, but she knew the war was just getting started. Her hands clenched into fists as she vowed to honor the sacrifice made this day. "Prep a salvage team," she ordered. "I want every scrap of Venari tech we can find, and send out search parties. If there's any trace of Cole or his team, we bring them back." The Dauntless's engines flared to life as Wilson set course for the debris field. They had struck a mighty blow against the Tok-Tok, but the price had been steep. Now it fell to her to ensure that price wasn't paid in vain. As her crew worked in somber silence, Wilson allowed herself a moment of quiet grief for the fallen. Then she straightened her shoulders, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. The Tok-Tok and any other threats to humanity would learn a harsh lesson. Humans don't go down without a fight.
You have reached the end of the story. If you enjoyed this story and want to support us, please leave a like and subscribe to our channel, and for every comment that says 88, I will heart every single one of them. Thank you for your time.